That's it. Thank you, Krishna. Thank you, Krishna. Mr. Soumyadev.
Mr. Soumyadev, fine. That's recording.
Why?
It is recording.
Okay.
Hi Mozillians, I'm Shomode. I'm a jack of many tracks, presently working as a front-end developer in Red Hat, and my passion is to be jack of many tracks. And I'm a student the entire time, and I contributing to many open source projects, mainly in Mozilla. And if you ask why Mozilla, the reasons will be it's community driven, it's open, and it has a cause to be supported. And when I say this, let me assure you that I am that kind of person who actually reads the terms and conditions before, taking that I agree to these terms and conditions. I can say that being very honest. So the point is, whenever I first read about Mozilla's mission, Mozilla's value, I thought, to be very honest, I thought that this is a very, very big thing to say that this is my mission, and this is very tough thing to actually follow that thing. So for like years, I could say from 2005, 2006 until 2009, I actually have been an anonymous contributor and stalker of Mozilla, what Mozilla does and all these things. And also I was contributing into it, but not with a face, not with a name. And I finally found that, yeah, this is a project I would like to be a part of. And then I chose to become a Muslim. My contributions, okay, so just a few days back, I got an URL from a community member that actually lists down your contribution status in Bugzilla, and I found that 55% of my contribution goes into the Firefox UX development. So I myself didn't even consider that. So one example is that the Firefox combined button along with the tab bar and all this thing, that design was mine. And community tools, the tools for the community, many tools that we use internally that are not public facing products. Those tools, I contribute in that tool. I am a system administrator for some of the community websites, and also I am a Mozilla mentor, and I help developers come forward and contribute to Mozilla project. In 2013, the opportunity is to in last most camp there was a question that what are we trying to do in 2013. So what I said was in India we have more number of colleges and institutes than maybe in other countries the number of students we have. So if we could have one student or one person contributing into Mozilla development from each of those college, would be easily we can be the strongest Mozilla community ever in the world. So even if we can get close to that, that will be very, very big thing to do. So 2013 opportunities, yeah, bring in more developers. So now SWOT analysis. So that's the challenge of being the last speaker. Everything has been discussed. So what primarily I thought that diversity is our strength, but it has been discussed. So I need to come up with something new. Enthusiasm is our strength. We are very enthusiastic about Mozilla project. We are very enthusiastic about contributing into it, and yeah, if we can only channel that properly, we have a very, very big horizon to cover. And weakness is also what I thought primarily was diversity. So we are so diverse, we cannot keep track of each other. That was one of the problems. That is still somewhat one of the problems. So it makes me glad that Muslims from all over the India have gathered in this room. Maybe we're missing so many of them, and we still need to reach out. but still diversity. But as I said, I need to come up with something new. This has been covered. So the other thing that I find that weakness is its inexperience. So most of the people who are contributing into Mozilla project, who are active in Mozilla project, I admire their enthusiasm, but sometimes they are inexperienced. They don't know what to do. I cannot blame them for that. So what I expect that they would learn more about Mozilla project, they would learn more about FOSS project in general, and they would know the operations. They will have, I mean, what is saying for open source community common senses, and all those stuffs will grow. So that is one challenge. I mean, weakness we need to fix. Opportunity is rapid expansion. Yeah, we have this thing. We have so many members. If we just want, if we go ahead and assign tasks to each of them, if I just could do that, then we can we can just go kaboom. And threats is also the rapid expansion. We are expanding so rapidly. We have been expanding so rapidly for at least last 2 years that sometimes it's very rarely manageable. So until we can, like, following the Mozilla tradition, we can delegate the duties, responsibilities into newcomers and leave some tasks from ourselves, this entire community will not be manageable by 1, 2, or 3 persons. That's not possible. So whoever is joining, be prepared to take new responsibilities. Whoever have joined before, be prepared to mentor the newcomers. And it's not like mentor tag has to be upon you. It's not like that. If you think that you can help another newcomer, go ahead and do it. And that's the way you can address this threat. So I guess I covered this entire point. I didn't really want to write that thing on paper, but I think we need to submit it. That's why. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Sonia. So I'd also invite who came a bit afterwards, if you want to come and introduce yourself or talk about why you are here and what are the things that you are expecting from this meetup. We'll start from. We have 2 more presentations. Then we'll start with from this. Ankit Bahudana from IIT Mumbai.
Yes, hello all. I am Ankit Bahudana. I am working as a research engineer at Center for Indian Language Technology. Basically, the focus area is natural language processing and artificial intelligence. That was a sort of very simple introduction, I must say, but the story goes a bit longer with open source. I started as a very small student who wanted to know more about computers. That's why I joined computer science. Later, when I found out that I was not in the topmost college of the country, I was in Rajasthan Technical University, and I wanted that all those students can actually collaborate and work together. So I started on with the community building stuff. I started something called Lincom, that is Linux community for my college, that actually later expanded to Rajasthan itself. I got opportunities from Opera, but I found that Opera Campus Pro program wasn't that huge to expand into or to contribute into. I later on joined W3C Web Ed Community Group, where I worked on web standards as whole, and we were developing manuals so that people can actually go through, especially developers, so that they can code right what is the right standard for coding that they focused on. And Spoken Tutorial, that is an open source, again, which allows video tutorials to the students so that they can learn about technologies. That was from IIT Bombay. I did 3 internships from IIT Bombay, and later on joined as a project staff there. So why Mozilla? Indeed. Okay, I must say thanks to Shahid. He was the one who introduced me to Mozilla. We met at IIT Bombay itself, and then I had an interview with Vinil. I must say I'm not that active, it's the truth thing, but I have tried a bit on my end because of my recent engagements. I'm very much excited about Firefox OS and especially localization. I am working with the Center for Indian Language Technology, as I said, and because of that, I have learned the value that we have in our country. We are very much culturally diverse, and that makes it very much important that we communicate well. And by that I mean we should all engage each language group of our country. And this is the reason every linguist that I have in my lab, I have actually asked them directly to contribute to the localization project. The localization project, as I said, we are working on translation mechanisms from Hindi to different languages like Malayalam, Tamil, Telugu, and we have linguists for all that. So once we have those resources right inbuilt into a technical system, we can actually take part as a computational scientist to work on it. So this can easily be done by the natives as well. So I must say that you should tell the natives who are good in their language to come up to the technical side, team up with the technical guy and work together. So that's how you can actually work on localization in a much more better manner. So 2013 should be about Firefox OS for all of us. One reason is there are already good Android marketplace that is there for app developers so that they can sell their apps. So first thing that we should focus on is to get those apps. We need the best apps into Firefox OS so that people start using it. If you have all the applications there, then it's much more easier to take on a new system. I'll tell a very simple story about BlackBerry OS that they have. They have about 70,000 apps, but those apps are not really good. So not many people actually use it. Playbook is a big disaster. We don't want that to happen with Firefox OS. So best is to actually make more and more apps and make it more generalized so that people can actually use it and relate to it, to the very best that are there in the market. The SWOT analysis, obviously the strength is the community and the cultural diversity. If there are people from multiple cultural backgrounds, it's much more easier that they can give different ideas and all are refreshingly good. The weakness, the truth is that still there's a huge lack of knowledge and I must say information that people have about open source movements in India. As a student from a college which wasn't that should I say advanced or known, a person actually does not know about what the open source movement is all about. Until you get to an institution like IIT Bombay, then you understand that the world is much more ahead and most of the things and the development goes around the open source world. So try to tell people to focus more on the open source projects, not just as a development point of view, but at least to use them. Tell them to use LibreOffice, tell them to use Thunderbird, tell them to use Mozilla Firefox as their native applications. The opportunity. As I said, Firefox OS presents us, especially the developers, a very good opportunity, a different platform, especially it uses the native development environments of HTML5 and CSS3. So it's much more easier for the developers to engage their applications. So try to focus on that, make your applications, if you're making those applications, port them to Firefox OS, and let's see the response, how it goes. And the threads is obviously the volunteer enthusiasm. It's a volunteer-based community system. If we are not enthusiastic about it, I don't think that we can actually take it forward. So more enthusiasm, the better it is for the community. So thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Ankit. Now I'll call upon other members who are presenting. Maybe we can start from. You can just introduce yourself and why you are here and maybe what you are expecting.
Hello, my name is Sneh Kumar. I am. Hello, I am Sneh Kumar and I am pursuing MTech PhD integrated program at Pune University. I have done my B from Gujarat. There we were trying to. Introduction is complete. Now there we were trying to organize many open source events, but somehow they were not succeeding. So as I am in Pune, am I audible?
Yeah.
So I am trying to see how these things are organized. That's why I am here. And as a part of GM Unify, there are two options: either to go for Wikimedia or Mozilla. That's why, as this is a community, so I chose Mozilla. Third and fourth points are not applicable for me. Yes, and I would like to speak about the thread. That people have a lot of enthusiasm, but the factor behind this enthusiasm, if it is that I want to do the things in my way, I want to become the controller, that everybody will do different things. If that is the point of enthusiasm, then that might become a threat. Okay, I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, good afternoon, brothers and sisters. Myself, Trailokya Joshi, basically from Goa, and I completed my BSc Com Science from Goa University, and presently I am pursuing MBA in Srinagar, and I am first year PG student. I was working in Kingfisher's UPL group, and I had a supply chain management project over there. And my research paper was last week published in a National Research Conference, and my topic was self-certification, which was for the food industry, new certification which is applied. And I'm working on the inventory management, and I will be writing research paper on by next month or somewhat. And my summer internship is also been mostly fixed in this UBL group only, Kingfishers. Mostly working on ISO certification now. We'll be doing auditing in purchase and source department for them. Basically, I was just using the Mozilla just for the research paper and browsing. And mostly, I'm fully new and community. I want to enter into the management field of the Mozilla community if I could. And SWOT analysis strength is mostly add-on features and all it allows. And that's it. Thank you.
And next, we have someone. Yeah.
Sir, yes, please.
Yeah, sure. Yes, sir. Please come. Can I add to this point? Yeah.
Hi guys, my name is Sefi, and I have been a Mozilla, I have been a Netscape user and then a Firefox user for some time. So I'm like, since everybody is discussing, I thought maybe I'll just also put in my 2 cents to this. So maybe people will get a slightly different point of view. Yeah. And maybe it will interest some people. So, and maybe it will make the interaction more exciting. So, I first used Netscape sometime in 1992. At that time we had to buy it. Okay. And in the last 10 years, I have never downloaded a binary of Firefox. I always build Firefox. And most people use, because they download Firefox and they use it, they get one type of perception about Firefox. Okay, so I'll highlight something else. So why did I choose Firefox? Because there are certain components that ship with Firefox, which are exciting to companies who work in systems. Okay, and what I work on. Okay, and how I have contributed to Mozilla. Now there is a Mozilla community, but the first ever add-on development meetup I had organized sometime in 2006 in Hyderabad, where people actually developed a variety of add-ons. This is before it became very popular to develop add-ons. Okay. But most of those add-ons were ones which use system capabilities. Like, there's a utility called DU. People know DU-H. You can find out. Imagine write an add-on, you can actually extract the information and show it in your browser. And how do you manipulate the URL address line? Okay. What am I excited about 2013? No comments. There's something I want to add in this part. See, people talk about strengths. So, since I have cracked Firefox and Mozilla community for very long, I want to highlight to you something. The real strength of when I heard people talk here, I felt that you contact this guy and he will tell you what to do about it. That may be good for coordination, but the real strength of the Firefox community are some of the guys who have been with it and have developed certain standard setting components. For example, very few people will know there were a bunch of guys who worked on Tinderbox. The guy who actually wrote the first JavaScript interpreter. There were people who actually tweaked the NSS and the NSPR component in Firefox. Now, today it's just branded as Firefox, but these were the really valuable things. So if anybody really wants to have a long conversation, which is valuable, because it is true that people are here who are operating and interacting as part of the Mozilla community, but many of us will actually go out and seek jobs in companies. Now you are sitting in Pune, right? Would you know that in 2012 2002 there was a company, or 2001 there was a company in Pune which used the Netscape security libraries and developed a signing software on top of it. So that just like you have ActiveX controls in IE, you could have an equivalent solution which would run within the browser environment on Netscape or Mozilla runtime. So that's one of the strengths as far as the people are concerned. The second thing is linked to the weakness part. Now, it's an old code base. That's the point I was trying to highlight when the first talk happened. So there is an architectural debt that the Firefox code base continues to pay till date. And that's because it was a rewrite of the stuff that happened, the rewrite which happened historically at Netscape. So the XP.com and the XP ideal stuff is what actually blocks you to take certain architectural decisions, and the whole XP string and all that. I have done that kind of programming. I can tell you something. Those are not the nice parts. So there are components within Firefox if there is one thing that's worth learning for guys who are interested in programming near to the system, these are the parts. These parts don't pay the architectural debt. That's what I try to highlight when I use the word NETWERK. I didn't mean to say it as a spelling mistake. What I mean to highlight is something that happened 25 years ago. We couldn't have changed it today. And I think in the next 6-7 years also, it's not going to get changed. So that's where you see the stacking on top of is increasing more, but the internal is not changing. For example, you can't change the threading model inside Firefox. You cannot change the way multiple components interact. It cannot happen because XP.com was an influence out of the COM model, and it couldn't be identical to COM. That would be called COM. Okay, so that's one thing. So if you try to delve deeper in those parts, you're going to see some weaknesses, or it's going to manifest somewhere else. The opportunity I see in the case of the Firefox domain is, Firefox OS provides a choice, but the real opportunity for the developers is that people learn how these things are developed and how the competing models that come either out of the Android ecosystem or any other ecosystem, how those people have developed the same solution. The parallel implementations learning is very valuable. It will translate both to the companies that you work with outside, and also you will be able to deploy it within the community. So this is what I refer to as learning by compare and contrast. For example, if I go all over the country, I will only be able to do a compare. Oh, Maharashtra is like this, Karnataka is like that. But if I go from here, say to China, then I see a contrast. So that's what happens when you take an idea which you have learned, or a software component you learned within Firefox, and see the same thing how it's done in Android. Or you are coming from an Android code base, so you look at Android and you're looking within. Those are the valuable learnings, because they will also help you advance your career. Okay? And threats, I don't know. There's too much of chaos. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Next, the third row? Yes. You itself. Me? No. You. Yes. You can just come and introduce yourself and give it a small introduction.
I'm not a developer.
But still, a lot of people here are not developers.
Hi, this is Raju Hindare. I'm doing my engineering from Dole College of Engineering in Pune itself. This is my first Mozilla meet. I have seen many guys who have said that they have joined last year. I'm looking for if I can contribute so that I can speak like you in next year.
That would be awesome.
Being in the Mozilla community makes me, it looks cool, means you people do something which affects the standards which other people use. You provide an alternative through the people who are using closed source softwares. Why I choose Mozilla? I hated IE. first. By learning more about Mozilla, I got interest. I just took to the I just visited the Mozilla homepage. I visited the links over there. Knew more about the community. Knew more about it through magazines. Tried contributing to it, joined some mailing list, but not got really started. But this seems to be a launchpad for me, where I can get started. I can meet people, guys like you, and get help from you. And in the whole process, I will learn something. What I work on at Mozilla, I just work with the browser and use some other components like Thunderbird. Not contributed yet. What am I excited for 2013? Yes, Firefox OS is definitely the main thing. I am looking for more features in the Firefox browser as well as the Thunderbird mail client. Also with the marketplace, what applications would be there in it? Where pretty many discussions have been done on SWOT. Threads. I would like to speak something about threads. For guys like me who have not yet contributed, who are just enthusiastic about it, you need to channelize the new guys. You need to make them more interactive. You can't expect them to, yeah, they are here. They need the will to do something within the community. But the already existing guys in community, they need to make them more interactive, give them work, get them started so that they will learn by themselves and with your help. That is the threat, I think. So that's it. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Sorry? Okay. Do you guys want to?
Hello guys, good afternoon. My name is Sopan Patel. I am a student at New York College of Engineering and Management studying MCA first year, MCA Management. This is my first interaction with you all with GNU Unify. I have never been to GNU Unify previously. Though we have, I am a Firefox user. I just use it for surfing on the internet. Why I use Firefox is before taking admission in computer field, I was from commerce background. Before taking admission in computer field, I just surf on the internet and downloaded various kind of software to distinguish which is the good and which is the bad in which field. Like in web browsers, I use Google Chrome, Firefox, Internet Explorer, and all that stuff. I am using Firefox web browser and using Firefox OS emulator too. I just want to add one thing, that can't we just made a kind of which the Wine Windows emulator on Linux used so for the Firefox emulator, so that all the applications of Android and applications on the Windows phone or the applications on the BlackBerry phone can be directly installed on the Firefox OS to run.